Hello, my name is Maria and today I'm going to teach you some grammar. So, our goal today is to discuss independent and dependent clauses and conjunctions between two independent clauses. First, think of the independent clause as a x variable in this math table that only depends on itself, and think of the dependent clause as the y variable in this table that only depends on the x variable to exist. Now, think of conjunctions as the glue that sticks together two independent clauses. But first, what is a clause? Well, want to know more? Because a clause is a group of words with subject and a verb team. There are two types of clauses, independent and dependent. Independent clause, by definition, states that is a group of words that contain a subject and a verb and express a complete thought. Overall, it's a clause that can stand on its own, different from a dependent clause, in which by definition states that is a group of words that contain a subject and a verb but does not express a complete thought. Such as this drawing express a kid that cannot stand on its own due that it needs the crutches to stand. This is what dependent clause is. Now, a dependent marker word is a word added to the beginning of an independent clause that makes it into a dependent clause, such as after, although, as if, because, before, and even if. And this totally connects to our first topic. Topic 1. Connecting dependent and independent clauses. One thing that you should know about this is that most of the time we do this to provide emphasis to the phrase. Also, after a dependent clause and a continuation to the independent clause, you should always put a comma before one into another. Some examples are this. Even though my mom can be the most beautiful and important person in my life, there are times when I don't want to see her or have her close to me. First part, as we will see here, is a dependent clause that precedes a comma and then starts a independent clause. Before I told her whose party was it, she looked at me straight into my eyes and said no. As well, first part is dependent, second part is independent. A key here is a dependent marker word. Dependent marker words normally start a dependent phrase. Immediately after I said this, she stood up and asked, "The problem is that how do I know that you will get safe to in this house after the party?" Now, two laugh out loud sentences are: because the future is based on our dreams when you sleep. Again, dependent, independent. What does a dumpling tell dumpling? Because we're called alike, we should be friends. Again, dependent, because we're called alike. Independent, we should be friends. Dependent marker, dependent marker. Now, you should also know a little bit about independent and dependent. So one thing I should know is that there's placed no commas, because normally when we talk in a phrase that has an independent and dependent, there's no pause between it. Also, you should know that a dependent clause, what makes it a dependent clause so special is that it has a subordinated clause that makes it a dependent clause. Now, some examples are: I want to go to Maria's house because I really like her cows. First part is an independent, dependent marker, which normally starts a dependent clause. She is a really nice girl, although she doesn't like dogs. Again, independent, dependent clause. Here we have our dependent marker. I like your sister even though she's so fat that I'm still printing her last picture. Again, I like your sister is a independent even though she's so fat that I'm still printing her last picture. Dependent. Don't break people's heart because a person only has one. Again, independent. Don't break people's heart. Dependent. Dependent marker word. Second topic that today we're going to discuss about is connecting two independent sentences. Now, for this you will need coordinating conjunctions, which are used to connect words, phrases, and clauses. Examples are and, for, nor, but, or, so, and yet. These are the coordinating conjunctions. Another way to remember them is by using the fanboy acrimony rule. When we're writing and we want to connect two main ideas, a complete thought, right? We use a comma before a coordinating conjunction. By only using a comma and a fanboys, which is coordinating conjunctions, you create a well-structured sentence. For example, I like you, but I don't like your brother. Over here, complete, complete, coordinating conjunctions. But we are going to the beach, so we need sunblock and coolers. Independent, independent, conjunction. The sun was not out any longer, and apparently everyone in my house had disappeared. Again, independent, independent, and here we have our comma, 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 conjunction. A funny sentence over here is caller A and caller B were friends, but then caller A left caller B plain. Laugh out loud. Again, independent, independent. Here I have a common conjunctions. Well, I hope you learn a lot about all these rules, and I hope you enjoy. If you have any questions, you could further email me at my email. Thank you and have a nice night.